What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. And this time, we're going to be covering Panic Room, directed by David Fincher, written by David Co-op, starring Jodie Foster, a very young Kristen Stewart, Forrest Whitaker, Dwight Yoakam, and Jared Leto. The story of Panic Room is very straightforward. This mother and daughter, played by Foster and Stewart, move into this apartment house, and on their first night, they are the victims of a home invasion. And in order to survive, they have to hide inside a panic room. But little do they know that what these three crooks want is inside the room itself, and that is where the tension lies. So, what are my thoughts on Panic Room? Very, very simple. This is a good popcorn thriller. I thoroughly enjoyed Panic Room. I remember seeing this in the year 2002 when it first came out, and I remember liking it, but I never really gone back to it. So this is the first time I've seen it in 17 years, and after watching it for a second time, now older, wiser, and more savvy when it comes to movies, I really did not appreciate this movie when I was younger. I really enjoyed Panic Room. I think this movie is really, really good. When you compare it to David Fincher's other works, it sticks out like a sore thumb because it's not really a movie that has multiple layers of subtext. It's a pretty straightforward story. David Co-op is known for doing straightforward stories, like for Spider-Man 1 and the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. They're very simple stories, but they're really easy to follow and very enjoyable stories as well. But when you have a talent like David Fincher be given a script like Panic Room, he's going to play with it and do things with it. And from a visual standpoint, this movie looks fantastic. This movie has a lot of really cool, innovative, computerized camera angles and camera shots, which really look cool for its time. Of course, and now with the technology you have now, the CG in this movie does seem dated, but for its time, really innovative stuff was done in this movie, and I really, really like it a lot. You get really solid performances by Jodie Foster. I love her as an actress, and I thought she was really, really good in this movie. She was a badass, and her trying to protect her daughter at all costs from these three invaders, and she's great. She's fantastic in this movie. I loved her a lot. Kristen Stewart, she really impressed me as a young child actress. I really enjoyed her as well. I also like the extra underline of tension because Kristen Stewart's character also has diabetes, and when she starts to convulse and start to get weak, that just adds an extra layer of tension to an already intense story. The atmosphere of this movie is fantastic. It's a very claustrophobic atmosphere because the majority of this movie, Stewart and Foster are inside the panic room, and the few times they leave the panic room, it's just very tension filled and very tension fueled. Those scenes. The best scene is where Foster has to leave the panic room to try and get her cell phone, and it's probably one of the best tension filled scenes in the whole movie. It's a fantastic scene. I love it. But in addition to that, the three actors who played the three crooks all were pretty good to themselves as well. Jared Leto plays Junior, who's like the ringleader, and I thought he was really, really funny, actually, and I thought he had a couple of cool lines here and there, and I like how he was completely unprepared and just whack out. And Jared Leto in dreadlocks, his cornrows, whatever you want to call it, it's hilarious. You got Forrest Whitaker who played the character of Burnham, and I like the character of Burnham. He's the ambiguous one. He's not a good guy, but he's not an evil guy. You know what I'm saying? He just wants to get in and get out. Doesn't want to hurt nobody. He wants to get He wants to get what they need to get, and then disappear. But then you have this wild card character in Raul, played by Dwight Yoakam, and he's just a nut job. He really is a nut job. When they start to use terror tactics, he's the one that goes overboard to the point where, it looks like he's trying to kill them. And when you get to the final few minutes of this movie, the man starts to lose his rocker. He kills Jared Leto's character. He nearly kills the father who tries to rescue his family, but he gets the shit kicked out of him. He nearly tries to kill the daughter, tries to kill the mother, until Burnham stops him. And I like how Burnham was able to have a hero moment. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was pretty cool because out of the three crooks, he was the only one with a heart, the only one with a soul, the only one that had a chance to redeem himself. And I like how we got that little character arc. And I also like the underlying tension that he and Raul have throughout the course of the movie. I thought it played out really, really well. And also, again, was another extra layer of tension to this film. So, what David Fincher made up with a very simple story, he added to it by adding these extra layers, these by adding some extra tension to some situations and character moments, which I thought was fantastic and really plays into this movie very very well. So yeah, those are just my broad general thoughts on Panic Room. Overall, I think this is a really good movie. The performances are very solid. David Fincher's direction is fantastic. The cinematography for this movie is great. You know, cinematography is co-done by Conrad W. Hall and Darius and Kanji. If I pronounce his name wrong, I'm sorry. But you know, those two, they create this dark, tension-fueled atmosphere with the cinematography. This is a very dark-looking movie, and it plays in very very well. And I got very few bad things to say about this movie. I overall really really like it a lot, which is why I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. For its own thing, it's a very solid movie. When you compare it to David Fincher's other works, it does stick out like a sore thumb because it falls by the wayside. But my entertainment value gives it an 8 out of 10, and I highly recommend people watch Panic Room. If you have not seen Panic Room in a very long time, give it a watch. I think you might be surprised by it. And if you have seen Panic Room, let me know what you thought about it in the comments section below. Like this video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.